Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here with a review of WAP Series 11, Kamen Rider Wizard Infinity. So yeah, this is actually pretty much the last of the WAPs, I believe. I don't think there's any more I've seen. I don't know if there's any surprises, but yeah, this is pretty much the last one, unless something changes randomly. So anyhow, this is our first wizard one in a little bit. The last ones we got were dragons. This is the first one that lights up in a while. So hopefully this is better than the last couple, because the beast ones weren't as good. I mean, the chimera one was good, and now I'm just rambling. Anyhow, what's funny is that this review is actually going out before my dragon form reviews, because I'm still missing one. But so anyway, that's just a fun fact and information. This is like spending 45 seconds on nothing, when we could just be starting the review with the box. It's actually a pretty neat box, pretty similar to all the others, but pretty neat nonetheless. You got a really cool picture of Infinity here on the front holding the Excalibur. Really cool background. They capture the sort of light blue color really nicely. If you couldn't tell, at the top is a picture of Infinity up there. And then on the side it just shows Excalibur, he's slashing with it. In this one he's using the wizard sword gun and stuff like that. And on the back it just shows some poses you can get him with, and then like another picture of Infinity. So nothing too special. Accessory wise, if you couldn't tell, he's obviously got the Excalibur in his hand, and he does come with the wizard sword gun in sword and gun mode, this time in a clear light blue plastic. They kind of look like they're made out of ice. And then obviously you got the Excalibur, which as usual these aren't that greatly detailed because they're WAP figures, but it's pretty solid. It's actually pretty cool looking, like the color scheme they got, because it's primarily black, and then you got like the silver tip here for the sword, and then they actually did paint the red part here for the axe, so it actually looks pretty cool with the black and red contrast, and at least it's not completely one solid color, and it's like a decent size for the toy and everything, so not bad. So this WAP figure is going back to the old gimmick of lighting up, which the originals had. The dragon ones obviously were the dragon pieces, and Beast had Chimera, and Beast Hyper had nothing. So yeah, it's very cool to get back to that, because I really did like that gimmick. We'll show that off momentarily. But detail-wise, overall, he looks really nice. As I've previously said with my reviews in this wave, particularly the early wizard figures actually look fairly nice, and I think are probably the nicest figures of this style we have gotten in comparison to like the OCCs, WFCs, and whatnot. And they're very good stand-ins for the figure arts. Infinity is getting a retail release, so there's not as big of a decision there, but as I've said before, with some of the other ones, they're exclusive, so it's a great alternative. But that being said, this is very nicely done. His head's pretty decently done, I think. The proportions are pretty well done. The sort of clear plastic they use because of the light-up feature looks really good for the way his design looks. It does look a little bit big, and like these spike out, I feel like a little more than they should, but that could be me, but overall still very good looking. The chest area here's got a really nice blue plastic here, which looks really shiny and neat. The driver is actually fairly nicely detailed, given the fact that it's such a simplistic driver. The silver plastic all around like his arms, and then his skirt piece here actually looks really nice. It's almost got a nice shine to it. This is actually a fairly movable plastic for movement and whatnot, so yeah, you can just see he's overall a very nice looking figure actually. Articulation wise, pretty basic. You've got a hinge joint here, swiveling, a single elbow joint here, swiveling at his fist. You do have the finger actions, if you know what I mean. They can move together or individually, kind of like the old Sochaku henshins. You've got waist articulation. Damn it, spoilers! You just saw that. Waist articulation here. Nice hinge joint here. Get some solid range of movement. Swiveling. Single knee joint. And then you've got some swiveling here at his foot on a nice little ball joint. So fairly nicely articulated. Obviously this is no figure arts articulation, but still fairly nicely articulated. And if you saw in that spoiler alert, this button here, which is actually this kind of nice clear plastic, you press it and his head lights up. And particularly with Infinity, because he's got like the jewel on the top of his head, this looks really cool. Very, very cool looking. It's actually really bright. You can't really tell that well here because you know, it's so bright in here. But it actually be used as a sufficient flashlight, so it looks really cool. One thing I want to note is his head does come off pretty easily in comparison to other figures, so you're just left here with a flashlight, which is actually kind of funny, so you can use it more as a flashlight. But his head does pop off a little bit easier than the other ones. I guess it's because of his head design. But that's cool. But overall, I'm very pleased with this figure. I like it quite a bit. I have liked this line all along for the most part. Like, other than Beast Hyper, I've been pretty happy with all my purchases, and no different here. If you really want a figure soon, or you don't want to spend a little bit of extra money for the figure art, he's a very solid figure. I think the figure art's only a little bit more expensive. But yeah, if you're going to pick him up, or if you just want to complete the collection of WAPs, by all means, he's a very, very nice figure. I'm very pleased with him. Very nicely detailed for his price point and his his line in general, and a really cool light up gimmick. So I actually really like the figure. It's really neat. I'm sure the figure art will be pretty decent, hopefully, but still, very nice figure. So until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast of Riders, Ranges, and Rambles. Until next time, it's Dawson Rider signing out.